Baba says that we shouldn't be body conscious because when we are body conscious, we don't do seva. Yes, so when we are body conscious is I and mind consciousness. So in order to look and see beyond I and mind, we need soul conscious state. And Baba says that when you're soul conscious, when you're compassionate, when you have compassion for your fellow brothers and sisters, when you have compassion for your soul brothers, only then can you do seva. And we must ask ourselves, do we do any seva? Because if I'm body conscious, I won't do seva. And seva needs a big heart. Yes, and when we do seva, obviously the origin of that seva has to be, this attitude of being a world benefactor. When you have this attitude that my resources are for world benefit, I am not here to just enjoy a hedonistic lifestyle, or I'm not here to just serve those who I call mine, but whatever I have is for the world benefit. When you understand this, that I am a soul, and whatever, whether it is time, thought, energy, specialities, talents, resources like finance, whatever we have, energy, physical energy, everything is there for world benefit. When you understand that, you don't owe it to just your blood relations. So this is a very tricky thing because it doesn't sit in the intellect. We have been operating in this body conscious world for 63 births, and we don't understand that this body conscious programming, it has made us believe that whatever I have, it belongs to me and to mine. Yes, so we have started believing that whatever resources we have, they just belong to me and that which I call mine. But Baba says, no, you are a soul and your resources are for world benefit, because everything belongs to Baba, and Baba's direction is use it for Vishwa Seva. Yes, so do we get this? Because there's this Mata, and I was just talking to her 2 days back, and I told her, why don't you come to the center every day? So she said that my son has exams. So I said, when does he have exams? So she said, the exams are in January. So I said, okay, that's in January, it's not today. So why are you not coming to the center? So she said, no, but my duty is towards my son first. So I said, and who told you that? That your duty is towards your son first? Who are you? You are a soul, you belong to God. So you have your duty towards Baba first. And when we say Baba, Baba doesn't need anything. So Baba makes us engage our resources towards duty, towards the spirit, the soul, yourself, and then towards every soul in the world. So Baba says that you must understand that it is not human dictates that you have to follow, and you will be able to nourish. And I asked her, what do you do? Your son is studying, what do you keep doing around him? So she said, I prepare, Bonvita for him, or I prepare something for him, and this and that. So I said, that's okay, but along with that, what do you keep doing? So you keep worrying and you keep fretting. So she said, yes, that's natural. I worry for my children. So I said, see, what you're doing is you're staying back and you're just giving negative energy. So that's how we are operating in the world. So Baba says that your first duty is to do what Baba says and serve yourself and come to a position where you can serve others, because serving everyone and everything needs eligibility, and that eligibility will come first when we pay attention to Baba's Shrimad and serve ourselves. So Swa Seva and then Vishwa Seva, and this is Baba's directions. But if we are body conscious, what do? We do not pay attention to either serving ourselves by having yoga or by using our intellect to churn knowledge. We don't pay attention to these, nor do we pay attention to using our body, mind and wealth for seva. So Baba says, don't be body conscious. And then Baba also talks about when seva is done in a group. So seva is always done in sangathan. So if you want to do big seva doesn't happen alone. You need to be with the family to do seva. So the Brahmin family has to do seva. Now what happens is, when you operate in a group, when you operate as a Brahmin family, it is very important to give regard to those who are good sevadharis. So you see that if you think that I should be in the front footing, so always I should be in the front, and there is somebody who can do better seva than you, but you are just pushing yourself forward and saying that if they went forward, they would gather more regard or something like that, and then you are making the seva compromised because of this I consciousness, then Baba says that's not honesty in seva. That's not being honest in seva. And what I have learned in this path of seva is, you have to, or in any path, in fact, if you see, it's very important to focus on the goal. Because you see, sometimes when your focus is not clear on the goal, then what happens is Maya will intervene. And if your focus is not clear that seva needs to be done, doesn't matter who does it, doesn't matter through whom it is done, but seva needs to be done, and I need to make sure that the seva is done in the best way. So that is honesty of intent when there is seva going on. But if you think that why should I step back and I want to be in the forefront and I want to garner the praise and this and that, if you are with that mindset you're operating, then that is not honest intent. And Baba says Baba is always happy with those who have an honest heart. So this is why even if you do a lot of seva, because there is no honest heart, that is why you don't earn Baba's blessings. So this also happens. Then there is another thing which Baba pointed out yesterday, that is true seva happens uh, when you have an elevated attitude that elevates the atmosphere. And this is also very important to understand, because you see that when you are doing something, with what attitude are you doing? Let's say, somebody is doing dhan seva, or somebody is contributing to the seva of the yajna, and then there is a lot of I consciousness, and you are always seeking attention and seeking validation that yes, I am doing the seva. And if that I consciousness is there, then that attitude of ego doesn't elevate the atmosphere, it makes the atmosphere very heavy. Yes, or sometimes there is this attitude that only I am doing it and nobody else is doing it. So there is a lot of, or there is you're doing seva, maybe physical seva or something, and then there is a lot of attitude of jealousy, or a lot of attitude of why am I not praised enough, or this or that. Then what happens is you're doing seva, but you are not lightening the atmosphere, you are in fact making the atmosphere very heavy. And in my own experience, I have seen that sometimes you have many sevadharis, and some of them are operating with a very heavy attitude, egoistic attitude. And then what happens is you start feeling less is more here. So and when those, and then ego makes sure that there is downfall, and then when those sevadharis stop doing seva, you actually feel relieved that now they're gone, and it's good that there is less sevadhari, and still the seva is done better and more seva is done. Because sometimes it's not just what you do, but your attitude makes it, your attitude makes all the difference. And Baba has told us there are two qualities you need to be a true sevadhari. One is nimit bhav and another is nirman bhav. So one is, you always remember that you are just an instrument. You remember that Baba is doing it. And then second is humility. You need these two things, and these are indispensable. If there is lack of humility, if you forget Baba and you think that your specialities or your talents or your physical power or your mental capacities doing the seva, then that makes the atmosphere very heavy. And in that atmosphere, there are a lot of sevadharis, but seva is done very little. And if everybody has the right attitude, then I think that even if there are 3-4 sevadharis, seva is done very beautifully. So I have seen this happen practically, and this is also true about seva. But in all of this discussion, the first thing is doing seva. Yes, so first do it and then do it right. Sometimes people talk a lot about doing it right, but they are not doing it. so it's not like, if you're not doing it right, don't do it. No, if you're not doing it right, learn how to do it right, but just do it first. So you have to ask yourself whether you are doing any seva, because if there is no seva, there is a lot of body consciousness. And although you may feel that I'm meditating and I'm listening to Murli, but all that is not opening the locks on your heart and intellect, because if those opened, then you will understand that I am a soul, and being a world benefactor is my quality. I am the child of the world benefactor. And how can I not do seva? So that will appear very naturally to you if you really are meditating, and if you're really listening to Murli, then the locks on your intellect and heart will definitely open, and you will do seva. And if you're not doing seva, that means you're still bogged by body consciousness, and that body consciousness is still making you feel that I just have to use Baba's Gyan to solve I and mine problems. But that is not what Baba's Gyan is for. And in any case, whatever you think are your problems, they are there because the account of punya is very less. And if we don't choose to do seva, then that account remains the same, and then nobody can solve that for us. Nobody can make the situations better, because if you don't do what you are supposed to do, then you can't get what you are expecting to get. You have to do something new to get something new. So these things are very important to understand. And then today Baba talks about donating golden coins and not donating pennies. So you see that Baba says Baba asks us to be a donor, right? And Baba says, you are the master donor, I am the great donor, and you are my children and you are master donors. And Baba always tells us to donate Gyan. But what are you donating? Are you donating the golden coins that Baba is giving, or are you donating pennies? Because you see, pennies will, when you give somebody a penny, you are keeping it, it looks like you've given something, but it's not worth anything. Yes, and then when you give someone a gold coin, it's just one coin, but it's worth a lot. So you must understand, what are you donating to anybody you meet? And I remember, there was this one brother, and his wife died. So when his wife left her body, he came to Baba's center about 6 months after his wife had left her body. And when he came to the center, he told me, he was just entering, and he said that, first I want to get over with some things. So I said, okay, tell me. So he said, my wife died 6 months back, and I have had enough of sympathy. So, everybody who comes, he's telling, I'm very sorry that your wife died, and everybody is saying, just get over it, and life goes on, and the show doesn't stop, so you have to be yourself, you have to gather yourself. I know all this. I have not come here to listen to that same stuff, because it doesn't help me anymore. So do you have anything else to say? So I thought that, somebody said that you go to the center, so I've come. So do you have anything else to say? So I said, yes, come. So then I told him that, you are a soul, and that person is a soul, and you don't have So the way you relate to somebody is through the body, but that when one body is left and the soul takes another body, that part of that soul is over, and then the soul is on an onward journey, and they have got nothing to do with you. So when the body ends, the relationship ends because the relationship was physical. So, and if it is spiritual, then it continues forever. Then in both the cases there is no reason to cry. So why are you crying? Because she left the body. If you had a spiritual relationship, then you can always connect with her through thought. You can send her thoughts, you can receive thoughts. But if you were connected through the body, then the body ended, the role ended, the relationship is over. Then why are you crying over it? So he said that, I don't get all of it, but yes, it makes me feel peaceful right now. And then he started understanding Gyan, and in 1 week's time, he told me that I'm feeling very much better and I really feel healed after listening to true knowledge. So you see that Baba gives us these gold coins. So Baba gives us these. So Baba doesn't say that accept your child as he is. Baba says your child is not your child. Your child is another soul. Come out of the illusion that your child is an extension of you. Your child is another soul on his journey, and your expectations are all misplaced because you don't have true knowledge. So you don't have to expect, you just have to be detached and loving and be a detached observer and give your support and cooperation to that soul so that they can evolve. So you see that Baba doesn't give us pennies. So there are lots of pennies in the world, and these days people are also trying to, people are not even giving pennies. If you share something with somebody or ask for an opinion, they will fill your heart with revenge and will with victim consciousness also. So you tell somebody that this thing happened, and they will say yes, the world is a bad place and all bad things are happening to good people, and you're very good, that's why you're suffering. Start becoming bad and then you will suffer less. So this also people will tell you. So Baba says you don't have to give the same thing that other people are giving to each other, and you have to donate these gold coins. And you see, there was this one Mata, and some days back she was telling me that I have a brother who stays very close to where I live, and ever since I've been in Gyan, he has been observing me, and he is observing me and he is seeing that I am changing and there are good changes in me, and that Mata is really making good effort and she has a lot of change in her. And then she said that my brother is still very anti BK. So she said that she still doesn't want to listen to the name of BK. So why is it so? Is my brother not in love with me, or they don't like me, or what is the case? I have been my best and I'm improving, and still why am I not able to influence? So then I told her that do you think that you came into Gyan just like that, or there is a whole explanation of 84 births because of which you're doing what you're doing at the moment? So she said yes, there is a whole journey of 84 births which explains whatever I'm doing in the moment. So you see that every choice that every person is making in the moment is actually related to their whole journey of 84 births. And sometimes when you forget this, you start thinking about why are they making these choices in the moment, and you start finding reasons, limited reasons for that. But the thing is, every choice that anybody is making in the moment is related to their whole journey. And I will tell you, I always felt this was very interesting, that people eat non vegetarian food with so much ease. And I never, in this life, I could never even think about having non veg. So, that thought also I couldn't entertain. And uh, there is a reason. You see, we also grow up amongst friends and everybody who eats a different kind of food, but still, why is there this whole thing that I can't even think about having what they are eating? So this doesn't have a physical explanation. This has a spiritual explanation. And you see, there are children who are born into families who are pure vegetarian, and then they take to non-vegetarian in college or something. And I have seen others who, when they come into gyan, all their life, this life, they have been eating all kind of food, but when they come into gyan, suddenly they stop everything and they say, my body doesn't accept, and now I don't like it. So all this is not happening by chance or by fluke. It's just, your whole journey of 84 births is explaining the choices you're making in this moment. And sometimes, when you forget these things, you tend to blame something, you tend to find a very small reason, and then you start fretting about it, and then you want to change something very minute in your current circumstances. But it's not like that. So these things are the gold coins. Baba gives us knowledge of a soul. And sometimes when I think about, when you see somebody, what do you see? You see, this is a middle-aged, this is a middle-aged man, this is a small child, this is an old person, or you see, they're educated, uneducated. Do you understand that in that tiny little being, there is this whole recording which is there, and which you can't see through any microscope, telescope, or any scope, and you really can't see anything, and whatever you are thinking about them is not them. And even with yourself, you don't know your whole journey. And Baba gives us the gyan, and Baba says, just churn the Swadershan Chakra all the time, so that you are able to have a glimpse into who you really are. And nobody has any idea about who they really are or who the other person really is. And that's why we are all operating in a very ego based manner, and I know, but you know nothing. So that's why, I know, and you are so many, in one day you are surprised by yourself so many times. And if somebody just saw a video of them operating all through the day, they would be shocked that I behave like this, and I talk like this, and this is my reaction to things, and this is how it is. So it is very important to get these golden coins with you, that make you really worthy. Because when you're worthy, you invest in the right place. So you think right, you do right, you understand what is what, and make the right effort. And then Baba says that this another golden coin is, even if it's very dark, even if everything is falling apart, Baba is still with you. And this is a very big golden coin. And there is this very beautiful quotation that um, you have got everything to do with God, and you owe it to God. You don't have, so even if somebody is not nice to you, you are not nice to them for them. You are not nice to them because your father is teaching you well. So your father is teaching you well, and you are nice because of who you are. Even if somebody is stabbing you or defaming you or whatever, don't forget that you don't have any hisab kitab with them. Your account is with Baba, and whatever you do, you are answerable to Baba. You are not answerable to anybody. So uh, don't decide your actions based on somebody or something or some situation. Always ask yourself, am I doing what Baba wants me to do in this situation? Because the only one that matters is Baba. And if you are doing what Baba has told you to do, his support, his courage, his everything is always there with you, and you will meet success. And in this journey, I have had many exams, and I have seen many tests, and I have passed everything with flying colors, because I have never focused on the test. I have focused on, I have got to answer Baba. So whether, even if the test is big, I just have to do what Baba says, and Baba will make me pass the test. I am not alone. I am not passing the test on my own. Even if the test is big, I have to do what Baba says, and Baba will make me pass the test. So Baba says, give these gold coins to everybody. Don't give these pennies, like somebody would say, just ignore people who are, toxic, or people who are not being good to you. Just ignore them. But Baba says, don't ignore anybody. Focus on who you are. Don't focus your attention, don't focus your energy on ignoring somebody, but focus your energy on recognizing yourself. Be yourself. Just behave according to your original nature. So Baba gives us these gold coins, and Baba says, always donate these gold coins. Don't give worldly advice and worldly vicious advice to anybody. And then Baba today says, godfatherly gifts. So you see that Baba says that if you have to give a gift to somebody, give a godfatherly gift. Give, some book, some picture, something from Baba's home to somebody. And have you made it a practice to give godfatherly gift? Have you made it a practice to give godfatherly gift? And you know that when you give godfatherly gift, Baba's blessings are there in that. And what more could you give to somebody than giving Baba's blessings to them? And you see that if you gave something from Baba to them, then you will also not have the ego and attachment to what you give. And that will free you in so many ways. And I remember there was this one occasion, and we were just very new in Gyan, and I and Santosh were invited to a friend's place, after they got married and all. So they had invited us. So we went, and we went by flight and everything. So it cost us a lot, that whole expenditure. But when we went, we gave them a book, Baba's book. And that friend said that you spent so much on the flight, but now you're giving me this book which is not even 100 rupees. So he just smiled, and because friends speak like this, so he just said that. But do he keeps that book very close to his heart today also. And I don't know how many gifts he has held so close to his heart until today, because he says that whenever I'm low or something, I feel that that book helps me. So you see that Baba's gifts, godfatherly gifts, will always, and you see, when you give something that Baba has given, then that takes Baba's vibrations to their home, and that will help them in so many ways and encourage them and uplift them. So Baba says, always give godfatherly gifts. Don't mind the cost. That is much more costly than whatever you can give, and you will also not have the ego of that I gave and the attachment to this thing I gave. So that is there. So these are Baba's teachings. Om Shanti.